Okay, welcome to chapter 13. In this chapter, we're dealing with division, dividing decimals. And we'll notice with the first problem here, we have three groups of some amount of tenths equals 1.5. Well, what I'm going to do here is understand that 1.5 is really, or equals, 15 tenths. And if I can do that, that makes life a little bit easier. So if I'm looking for three groups of some number equaling 15 tenths, that number has to be 5. And that's kind of how it works. So if I was to look at it another way, I could say to myself, well, 3 times 5 tenths equals 15 tenths. And well, if I create a standard form here, standard form for 5 tenths looks a little like this, and that's going to equal my 15 tenths, which is 1.5. So that's kind of how it works there. All right. Looking across to the next problem, here we have 1.5 divided by 3 equals some number. Well, if I can turn this into tenths and say, wait a minute, this is really 15 tenths dividing by 3, and that's going to give me, well, 5 tenths. And 5 tenths in standard form will look like this. So my answer, zero point 0.5. Okay, so far so good. That's kind of how it works. Well, let me get rid of this now and just talk a little bit about where, maybe this is a little bit of a review, but I want to concentrate on the 1.5 because very quickly I turned it into 15 tenths. And sometimes kids get a little confused what I'm talking about. Well, this is what I'm talking about. I have a nice little place value chart over here, and I put my decimal right here, and I have my ones place and my tenths place. And according to my number here, I have 1 in the ones place. So I'm going to put a little slash there and indicate that I have 1. And I have 5 in my tenths place. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if I wanted to convert this entire thing into tenths, I need to take that once, and I'm going to move it on over into my tenths. Well, the big question is how many tenths are in 1? Well, if you're going to talk about money, and I often talk about money when it comes to decimals, how many dimes are in $1? Well, the answer is 10. I have 10 dimes for a dollar. I have 10 tenths for every one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this guy moved into this guy here. Ones became tenths. 1 ones, 10 tenths. Now all I have to do is add them up. I have 5, 10, 15, and there are my 15 tenths. Okay? And that's how that works. Moving on. Let's go to something a little more complicated, I guess. Cruising down here, it breaks this up for you. Let's take a look at the first problem here. What we need to do is break things up according to place value. So they're asking for ones. If I have 9.36 divided by 3, I can break this up. We're going to divide everything by 3. Everything by 3. And first they want to divide the ones by 3. I have a 9 in the ones place. So I have 9 ones and hundredths now. Now this can get a little tricky. I have 36 hundredths. So I'm going to put the entire 36 in here. Notice I have my 9 in my ones. I have my 36 for my hundredths. Together that makes 9 and 36 hundredths, which is my original number. Now bringing this down, what does this equal? Well, 9 ones divided by 3, 9 ones divided by 3 will give me a total of, well, 3 ones, because 9 divided by 3 equals 3. 36 hundredths divided by 3 will give me a total of 12 hundredths. And there's my division problem. I'll put this together in standard form. I have 3 ones, and I have 12 hundredths. And that's how that works. What's neat about this, if you want to run a chart, is you can actually prove this on a chart. It's very concrete. The kids are really beginning to fully understand this whole concept of conceptualizing place value and value and are able now to chart these problems, which is great. Here's my hundredths. Okay, so let's take my 9, sorry, 5.36. I'm going to divide this into 3 parts. And how does that look? Well, I'm just going to take this entire thing. I'm going to break it into 3 parts. All right, my 9, I have 9 ones. I have 3 tenths, and I have 6 hundredths. Why 3 parts? Well, I'm dividing it into 3. So here's my 1, my first part, my second part, my third part. Now, if I have 9 ones, and I have 3 groups to put them in, well, they're going to be 3 in each. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I took my 9 ones, split them into 3, or divided them by 3. Now let's deal with the tenths. Well, I have 3 tenths. I have 3 parts I need to break them into. So that's 1, 2, 3 tenths. And now for my hundredths, I have 6 of them. I need to divide them by 3, or put them into 3 different piles or groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Last piece, well, let me bring down my decimal over here. Let's find out what we have. Well, I have 6 in hundredths. I have, oh, sorry. Yes, I originally had 6 in hundredths. I now have 2 in the hundredths. I have 1 in the tenths, and I have 3 in the ones place. Once again, getting a final answer of 3 and 12 hundredths. Kind of neat. Kind of neat. Good stuff. All right, folks. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.